Hello and welcome to another edition of the Avid Screencast. My name is Christian Förster, and this week we'll continue to color correct two shots to have them match. Last week we corrected our base shot and tried Avid's match color feature to match the second shot to it, but we didn't really get a satisfactory result. So this week we'll try to match the second shot manually. First of all, we'll again set the contrast of the image. Use the master setup for the blacks. Let's just see. This looks rather neutral to me. Very, very good. Let's set the gain. And let's set the gamma as well. Maybe take this one down a little, but we can change that later on. Now let's do the white balance for the highlights. Pull the reds down a bit, tiny bit. Tiny bit more. This is not the look we're going for. This is actually cyan and maybe a bit greenish cyan color-wise. And we're going for a reddish, yellowish, warm tone. It's always a good idea to toggle back and forth between the different images so you can see in the waveform as well as in the actual image how different they are. Can actually take the whole image down a bit, say okay, all the green channel kind of matches, and let's take the gamma of the reds up a notch. Now this is nice and red, but we still need a lot of yellow in the shot. Well, not that much, still maybe a bit more red. And a bit more yellow. And I guess we'll have to crank the saturation down because this is much less saturated than our image that we're correcting right now. So let's take the saturation down. And I'd say this looks a lot better. Still not perfect. If you look at the background, this is still a lot more neutral than this background. There's still a bit more yellow that we have to get into the mix. More yellow, a bit more red. Look at the background now. Matches pretty well. And if I change the gamma and the master a little to match the shots a bit better, this looks rather nice. You can look at the painting in the background. Looks very similar. You can look at the wall. It's similar too. Take a look at her scarf. Yeah, not too shabby. Generally, I think we've matched those two shots pretty well. Again, look at what it was before, what it looked like before. This is before. And this is after. I guess we've done a pretty good job here. And this is basically how you do it all the time. First, make sure that you match each shot for black balance and white balance the way you like it. If there's no real white in the shot, but mostly faces, you don't need to have a white point. If there's no white in the image, don't try to make anything white. If you have faces in the image, most of the time what you want is kind of a starry look, like some stairs with reds elevated and the blues depressed, so it looks warm and nice. So first of all, always do the black and the white balance, and then change the gamma so they match. And don't forget not only to care about the color, but also about the contrast of the image. The contrast needs to look similar in both shots. That is something that you have to change quite often, because often the lighting changes a bit between two shots. All right. Again, to learn a lot more about this topic and everything relating to color correction, read Steve Heilfusch's The Art and Technique of Digital Color Correction right from the link in the show notes, and I'll get a kickback. Thank you for actually watching this episode of the Avid Screencast. If you like, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast at avidscreencast.com or in the iTunes Store. And if you have any comments or suggestions like future show topics, drop me a line at mail@avidscreencast.com or just comment on the website. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/avidscreencast, and on Facebook, facebook.com/avidscreencast. If you'd like to see my professional website, check out editguy.de. Once again, thanks for watching. See you next week. Goodbye.